President Muhammadu Buhari says he has approved investing in the digital and creative enterprise iDICE, an over $600 million program to support young tech and creative entrepreneurs. The president, represented by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, disclosed this while declaring open a 3-day National Youth Conference in Abuja.
We recognize that our young people are this country's most strategic asset. Investing in them is clearly investing in the economic strength and development of our nation. This is why my administration has established initiatives such as the 75 billion National Youth Investment Fund and the Central Bank of Nigeria's Creative Sector Fund. It is why I recently approved the Investing in Digital and Creative Enterprises, the iDICE program, an over $600 million program supported by the AFDB, which will support young tech and creative sector entrepreneurs through the provision of finance for their businesses, finance for training and skills development, and also finance for infrastructure. Earlier this year, we partnered with the UNDP and the private sector in the Jubilee Fellows Internship Program. And under this program, for the next 5 years, every year, 20,000 students after their youth service will be given internship opportunities in private sector companies and in public agencies. The idea is that these interns, these participants, will gain relevant career and life skills that will enable them transition seamlessly into the professional or business or public sector, while also earning a very good pay during the period of the internship. Every youth corper who is here today is eligible to apply for that to be one of the 20,000 that will be chosen as a Jubilee Youth Fellow. And during the course of the internship, when you will be attached to a private company or a public company, you will be paid for that entire period, for the entire year. And this is, as I've said, a joint effort of the federal government of Nigeria and the UNDP. I have also, as you must be aware, approved the increase of the Empower Beneficiary Scheme from 500,000 beneficiaries to 1 million. Because young people constitute the majority of our population, they are, both by default and design, the very center of all of our efforts to stimulate growth. From our social investment schemes and all of the other innovations in the economy and support for micro and small and medium enterprises, we have placed the interests of our youth at the heart of our policy making. Despite these efforts, I still think it is natural and inevitable that there would be a degree of tension between a generation at the vanguard of innovation and the establishment. Young Nigerians often feel frustrated by the inability of our institutions to keep pace with their drive, with their aspirations, and with their dynamism. I can certainly relate to this, for believe it or not, I was once a young person too. While differences of opinion in respect of official policies is normal in liberal democracies such as ours, but out of respect for the rights and sensitivities of others, disagreement must be temperate and channeled through legally and socially acceptable means. Disagreement must never mean destruction. It must never mean violence. If it does, it will destroy the very basis of the progress that we expect to have. Most importantly, we must keep our faith in our country and remain optimistic that it will serve as the center and locus for fulfilling all of our aspirations. Building a nation is an intergenerational endeavor. I think that this is a particularly important point. Government can be changed in electoral cycles, but the destiny of a nation is shaped across generations. This country is ours, above and beyond partisan squabbles, disagreements, and everything else. The future will be what we make of it. In these days, when we seem to be assailed on all sides, it is natural to fear for the future and to nurse anxiety about what holds tomorrow. However, this is not the time to give up or to succumb to despair. This is the time to engage and to work more assiduously to build the country of our dreams. The successful Not Too Young to Run campaign, which led to the legislation that expands opportunities for political inclusion of young Nigerians, is a sterling example of how dedicated youth advocates initiated and saw through a key piece of political reform by working through the system, by insisting on following the rules. It is evidence of what can happen when Nigerians from diverse backgrounds make common cause. My signing into law of the Not Too Young to Run bill almost 3 years ago opened the door for youth inclusion in our political process and by extension in governance.